Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the best build in the Outer Worlds 2. If you want to become powerful and have a great time with the game, we'll be going over the best choices in order to make yourself a powerful character. Now the thing is with this game, you can't respec your character, you're stuck with your choices, and some of them can actually harm you really badly. Now there's actually only a handful of flaws that are actually worth taking, unless you like the idea of playing around them, because some of them do change the gameplay a lot, but easily distracted is one we want to get early as possible. Whenever we take 5 different skills, we're going to get this offered to us. And what this gives is 1+ skill point gain per level, but you can't go into any other skills that we're not proficient in. So this is really good because it's just going to flat out give you more bang for your buck, 50% better level ups, and we're already knowing what skills we want to take. So you want to get this as early as possible. You can get it at level 4 once you spend 5 points. I also like Technophobia here, giving yourself increased damage to auto mechanicals, but you take more damage yourself. This is okay because we can just dish out damage to them, focus them down first, and then you're just going to be in a better position. So from the start of the game, the best background is probably the professor here, due to this game having a very heavy science focus, and it makes sense. You're part of the Earth Directorate. This one just is a good choice to go with. Now, you can also go with the Lawbringer and the Renegade. These are 2 other fun ones. The Gambler is great too. I went with the Roustabout. It's weird. It doesn't really have that great. It's kind of funny if you like the roleplay idea, but this is mostly just for roleplay. The Professor, Renegade, or Lawbringer are probably the best choices. I guess Gambler as well. And I wouldn't really recommend the ex-convict here. But for traits, now, there's a couple that we want. Lucky is a very powerful one. You're lucky, things tend to go your way. You get a plus 5% critical chance. This is great, but certain opportunities are just accessible to you. This opens up some different areas in the game where we wouldn't be able to go forward if we didn't have this, so it's a very good choice. Now we can actually take a second trait because one of the negatives here, dumb, is actually perfect for us because when we go with the skill selection, we have to lock 5 skills that we can't put points into. This is perfectly fine. It's not a bad negative trait. It's actually what we're going to be doing regardless. Witty is okay because you can't go below neutral, although reputation isn't super hard to maintain. I'd actually recommend either the nimble here, giving yourself increased crouch speed is nice, but my personal preference is the brilliant here. You're able to specialize in 1 additional skill, so that gives it 2 more points. This is just nice because, again, dumb is not going to give us a downside. There's other ones here if you like the ideas of them. Even the Brawny can be fun if this fits your playstyle, but I think these 2 are really good choices here, and Witty is an okay choice if you like the concept of that. We're going to take the dumb here. This is totally fine. Doesn't make you dumb. It actually is perfect. It's smart to take dumb. So we have to pick 5 skills to lock, and we're only going to pick 1 weapon type. I recommend going with guns. It's just the best choice. I'd recommend blocking explosives, melee, unless you want to go with a melee build alongside this. Leadership, honestly, is not really that great. Medical as well, another one that is kind of lackluster compared to the other choices. So I'd recommend locking medical. Observation is just okay. It does give you better weak spot damage, which is nice, but it doesn't come up as often as some of the others here, so you can put that one as a lock skill if you didn't want to use it. Science as well. Science is one that I played with. If you really like the idea of like slowing down time, kind of like the VAT style system from Fallout, then you, don't put it at point in here, but I actually found that this one didn't really give me a huge benefit too much, so that's one. Sneak is also not a fantastic skill in this game because sneak is actually, like, you don't even need the skill to be really good at sneaking, but it will boost your sneak attack damage. But in all honesty, leadership was such a wasted skill because one of the best skills in the game is speech, and a lot of the speech checks are also leadership checks with the same like difficulty challenge, so you're oftentimes better just rolling with speech, in all honesty, as speech does scale really well and it gives you increased damage to humans and opens up a lot of dialogue that, again, you wouldn't have access to normally. And since we're brilliant, we get 3 skills to specialize in. I would recommend going with speech as well as guns. This is going to be your weapons, obviously. And now there's a choice. Engineering, hack, and lockpick are all very common, so those are ones that I would actually recommend. I really like going with lockpick because there actually is a lot of locks that you can pick early on in the game, so this can be a good choice to go with. But hack and engineering do come up quite a bit as well. I just found lockpick to be the better choice here, so these 3, it's kind of the traditional build that you'd roll with one of these games. Now, this will come down to your personal preference in how you like to play, but there are just some skills that are much better than others when we come to play. I would always recommend getting your gun skill up as high as possible, as soon as possible, just because combat is very common in this game, and getting yourself 10% more range damage and armor penetration is obviously very good. Now, I would recommend the first skills will be obviously speech, guns, and lockpick are ones that you're going to put your most points into, with hack coming fourth, for fourth, and then potentially engineering next. Like, engineering is still something that's going to come up often, and it'll help with increasing your armor effectiveness as well, so that can be a pretty effective option. I would not recommend putting points into science that much. Science is good if you want to use your energy. Like, if you want to use the special abilities, go into science. I just found myself sometimes just not using them as much. But hey, it's up to you entirely. But leadership is the skill I would 100% not have put in points into. I really regret these 13 points, and I wish I could have put them back into, like, obviously our speech, hack, lock picking, engineering, and guns. Like, those would be the 5 skills I would want to focus on, dropping science and leadership. I didn't use these as much as I would have rathered have higher points here. And again, the easily distracted is such a powerful one. You do have to get to level 4 and take 5 different skills to be able to get that, as it is such a powerful choice. So again, priority, gun, speech, and lockpick, and then hack, engineering. Those would be your kind of best choices. Now, perks. There's a lot of really good perks in this game. The ones that we want to get first, I honestly think Trophy Hunter's just a crazy one. You get a 5% critical hit chance. That's great, but it's the 15% additional critical hit chance against strong enemies. Strong enemies, you want to get as many critical hits off as possible because their health bars are just larger. So this is a massive boost to our DPS. We want to get this one as soon as possible. Commando, obviously another one. You have to have either one pointing guns or melee to be able to unlock this. And yeah, you get an additional weapon slot. It's just a no-brainer. You're going to want to be able to swap through them, as there are some other perks that'll actually give us extra damage when we swap. Now, the reason I also mentioned to go into lockpick is that the pickpocket ability is really good. So this is a perk you have to select, but you then gain the ability to pickpocket, which can give you a lot of really good items. This is something that you really want to do, and you're oftentimes very successful when you pickpocket people. I normally don't like to use pickpocketing games, but it's really good in this one. I also like the point blank artist. So damage with shotguns, SMGs, and pistols increase damage in targets within 10 meters, but less above that distance. This is fine because typically if you're going to use a shotgun or SMG, you're going to get in close, and a pistol, the damage from far away is not really that bad. So it gives you an additional 100% sneak attack damage, 30% damage to near enemies, and minus 15% for far enemies. But if you're attacking far enemies, just swap to a rifle, you'll be fine. Another fantastic skill, since we are building into our speech skill, this will give us a 2.5% damage increase per speech skill selected. This is just nice because that's like a good amount of overall damage output that we'll be getting from this. Personally, I really like deep drums. This will give you additional magazine size with machine guns, special weapons, and assault rifles. Will also reload or get additional ammo. So it's good on every weapon because if you have 100 rounds, you can put 150. They'll regenerate the ammo as well. It's a fun one. I also do like Gunrunner as well, so you can now firewall sliding, mantling, and sprinting with assault rifles. It's just my style of play. I really like this type. And additionally, with the spread of these weapons is reduced, so you are much more accurate when using this. Now, restricted access is pretty decent. You can get some exclusive items in vending machines. If you like that, you can also go without this. I also really like the negotiator. This is a little bit later in the game, so your companion abilities charge faster to you. That's fine. It's really about getting your reputation up. So if you went with and got your reputation really low, this can help you by getting you up to 75 on all factions right away. So yeah, this can be good if you weren't doing too great with the reputation. It's just a get out of jail free card type deal. Also, since we're doing a lot of speech, the charlatan is great. You have to have 6 in your speech skill to be able to get this. Basically, it lets you say new lines in dialogue. It's really good. This also leads to a later skill that we want to have too, because it's fun. And then the multitasker is really fun. Your holstered weapons reloads automatically when you manually reload your active weapon. So yeah, this is what I mentioned about swapping around, having multiple weapons. You can shoot it, reload one of your guns. It's going to reload all your guns. It's kind of a cool one. The multitasker is fun. It does require 14 points and the commando feat. So this will be later in the game, but it's a fun one. Now, that's what I was saying about the charlatan here. You can get additional damage on attacking enemies that aren't targeting you directly. This is great, especially if you're playing with Niles, because he can actually aggro everyone and goad them into attacking him, and then you can use this and get a big boost to the damage against all those enemies, and your speech skill is also scaling it. So this is very powerful, but this also opens up more dialogue options. So again, we want that because we want all the game that offers. Now, we also got the shiny new toy, so this will give you a bonus 20% damage when you swap weapons. Again, we basically want to swap, and then you can kind of like go through all your ammo, and then when you have a fast reloading weapon, reload, and it'll reload all the rest of your guns, and then you get the damage boost off all of them. It's a fun way of playing, and I like when games incentivize this. I also have the Intimidator here. This just allows you to scare enemies. It's really fun. I personally really like this feat. Whenever you deal damage to weak enemies or creatures, it frightens them for a duration. This just makes them run away, and then you can shoot at them. Bosses can't have this, but then we can also get the Grim Visage. So when you score a kill, it'll temporarily cause humans and creatures nearby to be frightened for a short duration. Again, leaders and bosses can be frightened this way, but we have the Trophy Hunter to give them extra critical hit chance. So this is really good because the target will flee for 8 whole seconds. And if you're going against humanoid type enemies, they're free kills. They run away. It's really good. And as I mentioned, we took that perk there to get all 3 of our factions maxed out, or not maxed out, but very high. And again, you can do this and make it really easy. It just gives you better vendor pricing. Now for equipment, I just wearing the Moonman helmet because I think it's awesome and funny. The Berserker bucket's really nice, gives you the ammo hoarder, which will give you health regeneration and more health. You can also put on different feats on top of this and upgrade them even further. The tactical trajectile defense dome is really nice. It will give you energy recharge rate, and you can use energy to stop bullets basically from coming at us. And this is pretty useful for just defensiveness. I guess you can throw this hat on anytime that you're going to be playing with your companions and making them play a little bit more, because it'll help out with them. Also, like the monocular target finder here, this fits perfectly because you get a bunch of extra damage at long ranges, so great on a sniper rifle setup. The grenadier helmet's also really nice. Getting increased magazine size I find is really fun, so that can be good too. And you also want to get the extra holster if you can find that and put it on. I have it on this one here, so extra holster, you get an additional weapon slot. This will give you the 4th weapon slot there. Now for our armor selection. This one's kind of funny, the bow skin here. Whenever you drop below health, you get a temporary health, and then enemies lose awareness of the player 50% faster, so you can actually be pretty stealthy with this one. I think it's a solid choice. The pre-science here is also really good, especially if you use time dilation often, as it gives you some extra benefits, and it can also convert shots that you get hit with into energy. Honestly, look for I think that medium armor fits this build really well, so if you can find a good size medium armor that's going to give a decent bit of armor resistance, that works well until you can find yourself a legendary. There's obviously a lot of other legendaries here, but this one you're going to get at a certain point, and this is probably the best choice. Now for weapons, I really like the Zyraniator. This is purchasable from one of the first islands in the game, and you can get it throughout use it throughout the entire game. It's very powerful, 3-round burst gun, and it has a huge magazine size. I also really like the cold. I upgraded this with the frost converted air-cooled machine gun, so you can just put this on a machine gun that's common. It's a pretty strong weapon, and it's got the chill there as well. The prism repeating rifle is also really good, changing it over to shock damage. I found this to be a very reliable weapon. I have a bunch of other legendaries here. The simplifier is an okay one. You do get this part of the game. Really good for sniping. I put this on anytime that I want to try and get a one-shot kill off. The Adrenaline Edge Mark III knife is another powerful weapon. It's really fast swinging, and this will give you energy and toxicity, so it's kind of funny. It's a different play style. I also like the Oracle. You can get this in the midpoint of the game, and it's a very powerful assault rifle. This is probably my favorite weapon out of all these. It's really strong. The Chain Spark Cannon is extremely fun because it's going to chain around to multiple enemies, which is really strong. And then I also like the biggest fan. This is a pretty powerful weapon as well. And for companions now, I think the 2 of the strongest ones, honestly, play with who you want. They're not going to make a big difference. They go down really quickly, but the 2 tankier ones are Niles and Tristan. So Niles, I like to go with I Got Him. This makes enemies target him more likely. This is really good. We don't want them to attack us because we get more benefits if they're aiming at him and we shoot them, so that's a good way to go about it. I've seen a lot of people say that bullet shields is a really good perk, but I actually think it's better when they shoot at the target, or at our teammates here. It's a little bit better that way. So Spotter will explore Niles, periodically calls out enemies he spots, revealing them on the minimap. We also got his self-repairing armor, giving him higher survivability. The Ghost Array mod, which you can craft and put on your helmet, makes you camouflage. This is, again, going to help if we get damage. We can stealth ourselves out of it. It's kind of nice. I also like the Dumb Aggression, which lets his companion ability go targets, which makes them attack him and act more recklessly, so we can shoot them and they won't be under cover. And then we're going to go with the Force Emitter here, which he activates a sonic shockwave in an area around him, and it knocks his enemies down. This is really good. He actually is, he uses this in the best times. It's honestly weird how his AI works, but I find that he's really an MVP with that ability. I also like with Tristan to go with the Explosive Strikes. This gives his 3rd melee attack a big explosion, and then Beg for Mercy, which is a really cool ability, similar to how we make enemies frightened. He will make them frightened at the start of combat too. The Shield of Law is kind of cool too, because he can also aggro at the start of combat, but I found this to be better. The Zyranium Regeneration heals 2.5, so this is 5% of his health per second, so that's pretty good health regeneration. The Aggressive Challenge here, enemies taunted by his ability, or so his Judgment ability will become goaded now. This is really good with another later choice. Steel Wall will double his health at the start of combat, and then the Aggressive Challenge will proc again off Ground Shaker, which makes his attack do a huge area of effect. And if you do Niles' Companion Quest, you get the Last Defender here. After using his companion ability, his Reflex Amplifier is overcharged, negating 100% of incoming attacks for a short duration. It's really good. And since we don't have a high observation skill, Tristan can help out with that with his Observant Adjudicator. And when it comes to combat, I would recommend that obviously staying a bit back and using your using a rifle is going to be best, because they are good at going in and being a frontliner. He's going to go in and attack with his hammer. The hammer is really nice because that's going to help out in every 3rd attack. Again, he's going to be doing a big explosion attack. Unfortunately, it does take him time to run there, so that's something to keep in mind. You're going to see he'll do another attack, and it's going to be that big explosion, which is nice. And his companion ability is pretty powerful as well, so I got them both kind of pop theirs there. And then we're actually going to start shooting here. But yeah, that was his ability there. It was a big explosion, ended up taking them all out. And we are best, obviously, backlining it. They can go in. He's like frontline tank. He's kind of the midline tank, and then we're back here just using our speech skill to get the extra damage using rifles. And if they come up close, we do have that really powerful ability on extra damage at close range with pistols. So yeah, this all combines together to be a really powerful build. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below, and let me know what Outer Worlds 2 content you would like to see next.